I found a camera hidden behind my bathroom vent, recording me. It wasn't a burglar. It wasn't some hacker. It was Elise, the self-appointed HOA chair who said it was for community safety. When I moved into Maple Ridge, all I wanted was peace. After 30 years working construction and surviving a brutal divorce, I bought a little house at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac. Finally, something that felt like mine. No landlord, no noise, just morning coffee, my dog Duke, and some quiet, or so I thought. The trouble started with a pamphlet, folded neatly in my mailbox with a heading, Maple Ridge HOA Compliance Notice, New Safety Standards. It said that all homeowners must approve micro-surveillance installations in high-risk areas of the home, especially bathrooms and basements, for our safety. I actually laughed. Cameras in bathrooms? Who was dumb enough to fall for that? Then I saw the name at the bottom, Elise Braxton, Community Enforcement Chair. Now here's the thing. We didn't elect Elise. Nobody did. She kind of just appeared. One day she was walking her tiny white dog. The next she was knocking on doors with a clipboard and quoting neighborhood bylaws that didn't exist. She wore a navy blazer with a fake gold HOA badge and talked like she worked for Homeland Security. Most folks ignored her. Some were intimidated, but nobody dared outright challenge her. Not yet. I crumpled the pamphlet and tossed it. Didn't think about it again until 3 days later, when Elise came knocking. She smiled that cold HOA smile and said, "Just doing a compliance check. Nothing personal." I told her flat out, "You're not coming inside." She frowned, flipped through her clipboard and said, "Failure to comply with bathroom security standards may result in a $500 monthly fine." That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. I slammed the door. But that night, I started checking. The bathroom vents, the window frame, the light fixture, and there it was, tucked behind the vent in the ceiling. A tiny plastic square, no wires, just a blinking blue light the size of a pencil eraser. My heart dropped. Someone had been in my house. I took it to my son, Eric. He's a cybersecurity tech at a private firm. He hooked it up to his laptop. "Dad," he said, face pale, "this thing has a motion sensor and a Wi-Fi transmitter. It's sending footage to an IP address somewhere in state." I felt sick. Eric dug deeper. The device was custom modified, not store-bought. He looked at me and said, "Someone built this to spy." And whoever planted it probably did this to more people. The next morning, I went door to door. First stop, Henry and Marla down the street. Henry's 83 and half blind. He said Elise told them the HOA had passed a fire inspection clause that required bathroom monitors in all senior homes. He signed off without even realizing what it meant. Then Sarah, a single mom raising 2 kids, told me Elise had insisted she install indoor cameras to protect her children from custody interference. She thought it was legal. She paid over $1,000 for the setup. That's when it hit me. Elise wasn't just power hungry. She was dangerous. We needed proof, and we needed to move fast. Eric suggested setting up our own counter-surveillance. He placed discrete motion-triggered cameras outside Elise's house. Nothing illegal, just what anyone could install to protect their own property line. What we captured next blew this case wide open. One evening, just after sunset, Elise stepped outside wearing gloves and a black hoodie. She walked 2 houses down and entered a side yard, Sarah's house. She crouched near the foundation vent, pulled something from her pocket, and slipped it behind the siding. She wasn't inspecting anything. She was planting devices. Eric clipped the video and sent it to the sheriff's office. They sent 2 deputies the next morning. Elise tried to talk her way out of it, said she was enforcing neighborhood technology policy. The deputies didn't buy it. They asked to see her badge. It was laminated printer paper. Then came the kicker. They searched her garage and found a locked cabinet. Inside were 14 labeled zip bags, each with tiny devices, labeled by house number. She had custom files for each resident, notes, photos, even diagrams of bathroom layouts and work schedules. The sheriff's report later called it a highly organized pattern of unauthorized surveillance and psychological coercion. Turns out Elise used people's personal fears against them. Seniors feared fines. Single moms feared losing their kids. New homeowners feared eviction. And she capitalized on every one of them. They arrested her on the spot for trespassing, invasion of privacy, and unlawful surveillance. As they put her in cuffs, she said, "You people don't understand. I'm protecting this neighborhood from itself." She still thought she was the hero, but the damage was done. Over the next week, neighbors came forward with stories that made my blood boil. One man said Elise entered his home while he was asleep, claiming she was checking for leak risk zones. An elderly widow said Elise convinced her to stop using scented candles because they were in violation of neighborhood air quality guidelines. Someone else caught Elise trying to open their garage door in the middle of the night. It wasn't just about privacy, it was about control. And she'd built an entire fake infrastructure to enforce it. Fake bylaws, fake forms, fake violation notices. She even had an online portal where she'd log people's compliance status. Dozens of people had paid her made-up fees through Venmo and didn't realize until we posted the truth on the community bulletin board. 650, Elise was eventually charged with multiple felony counts. During the trial, her lawyer argued that she believed she was genuinely helping, that the neighborhood had become chaotic and disorderly. But the judge didn't buy it. Not when confronted with the detailed surveillance logs, forged documents, and videos of her planting devices in people's homes. She was sentenced to 3 years in state prison and ordered to pay restitution to 18 separate families. Even from jail, she tried to file appeals claiming bias against neighborhood activists. Those were denied. But here's the part that gets me. When the final court hearing ended, the judge said something I'll never forget. Authority without consent is tyranny. This neighborhood didn't need saving. It needed respect. After that, everything changed. Henry and Marla replaced the flowers Elise made them rip out. Sarah took down the cameras and used the refund to take her kids on their first real vacation. And Eric? He was awarded by the county for helping uncover one of the most bizarre neighborhood surveillance cases in state history. As for me, I replaced every lock in my house. Twice. But more than that, I helped form a real neighborhood board. One based on community, not control. Real elections, real transparency. And we made one rule permanent. No one ever again could hold HOA office without a background check and public vote. Now, when I sit on my porch with Duke at my feet, watching the kids play chalk hopscotch across the sidewalk Elise once banned, I feel something I hadn't felt in a long time. Safety. Not from cameras, but from each other. Because at the end of the day, peace doesn't come from authority. It comes from trust, and no one can force that. Not with rules, not with fines, and definitely not with hidden cameras in the ceiling.